Hello everybody, welcome back to Alchemy Gaming. Today we're working on Industrial Miracle, one of the scenarios in the Industrial Wonders DLC for Railway Empire 2, and we're in the third episode right now. We have kind of two things on the go. So number one, we'll talk about improved work conditions. It is October 27th, 1870 in game time. So by December 1874, we need to deliver 16 loads of tools from the region Bergisches Land to region Ruhr District Central, and then by June 1875, we need to deliver 16 loads of canned foods from region Sauerland Border to region Ruhr District Central. By December 75, we need to deliver 40 loads of steel to Essen. Now that one might actually be the easiest one because I already have steel, just got to deliver it to Essen. This one here, the Big Urbanization Boom. By October 1874, we need to deliver 3 loads of steel per week via factories and businesses. So that's fine. We'll just have to do one more upgrade in Oberhausen. That should get us to the 3, I believe. So then by April 1876, we need to transport a total of 24 cars with explosives. To do this, you have to unlock explosives factories, and they're made up of coal and chemicals. And you also need sulfur, which is byproduct processing copper in the wire. So build a wire factory and a city to obtain sulfur for chemicals and copper wire for electrical components. So that's going to be a couple different things that are all going on at once. Then by October 1876, supply towns via warehouse in the city Heiligenhaus with 32 loads of concrete. So now we're doing concrete. We got kind of our hand in everything. We got tools, we got canned goods. We already had steel, explosives, concrete, got to do chemicals, and then we have to do copper wires. So lots of stuff going on. And then by December 1876, we need to reach 115,000 citizens in Essen. Right now we're at 67. I don't even think we're growing really. We're kind of not growing because we're a little tight on money. Down here is the Niederbergisches Land, and there's that Heiligenhaus right there. And then over here was the Bergisches Land, and then over here is the Sauerland Border. We needed the Bergisches Land was there, Sauerland was over here, and then over here was the Heiligenhaus with the concrete. So what are we going to do? We're gonna have to stop and think this through a little bit. I think what we'll do first is take a bond. So we'll take this number 2 one. We're gonna go ahead and bump this up.
The steel was flowing and the machines were running. The industrial future looked bright.
Nice. So that gives us immediately our 3 loads of steel. We're actually making 4.1, I think. So we got that done. So the next thing, just timeline wise, is we got 16 loads of tools from the Bergisches Land. So if we go down, Bergisches was it here? No, it was in the middle. So if we go to buy that, 961,000. We could get the Hattenden. So right here, Hattenden's at 79, Wuppertal's at 41, and Solingen is at 13. So we could go here down to Essen. Did it have to go to anywhere specific? No, it didn't have to. If we go up in the tools on our thing, okay, so I'm already big enough that I'm demanding tools. We could put a line from Wuppertal up there, and I don't know if we're going to be able to buy one of these things. Ooh, the paper one's quite cheap. We could buy the paper. That might be the way to go. In the meantime, we're going to look at our research. We're going to take steel combustion chamber, and that will decrease our maintenance requirements by 5%. So we have 360 left. We could take this class 121, which is just a little bit faster than the Forkanaut. Maybe we will take that.
It's not a locomotive. It's a piece of junk on wheels.
Well, it's a better piece of junk than what we had before. If we go in here, we could probably go in and upgrade it, I would say. Let's see what that's going to be like. Press only 12,000. So we have our line all the way from Wuppertal up to Essen Express. So we're going to put an express train first and try to build up some income. And so it's going to run on a single line from close to the river all the way down. So we're going to have to obviously double that up, but that'll give us a little bit of traction. Now we have some research. I think we should take the toys that'll increase our factory income by 7%, or profit actually. So I think that would be good. So we added the second train going down the Wuppertal, and now we have a line. It's doubled right to about there where my arrow is. Line doubled from Hattenden to Essen, and we're going to throw down a 121 with our wagons on that. And then I think what we'll do is, as soon as we get enough money, we'll throw a second one down. We need to get some income going, really, is what we're trying to do. Plus this one did have a 750,000 bonus on it. So as soon as we get 129, line, we'll throw that down. Once it reaches over there, it'll get that bonus. We're going to continue with our plan. We're going to buy the paper mill, assuming no one else bids on it, of course. And now we have our station divided. In Wuppertal, we have freight. So we're going to go from Oberhausen freight and the Wuppertal freight with one west. Actually, let's make that two. All right, we did a bunch of stuff here. We got our wood coming in from the mountains into our freight station to get our paper. And we hooked up an express line from Solingen to Wuppertal. And lo and behold, and we'll put one train there with our wagons, we actually have tools there. I can't believe how stupid I was not to have noticed that. So there is a tool factory right there already. So we bought that paper for nothing. So we're going to put a freight station in there and hook it up here. We'll probably piggyback this line for the time being and run it way up to Oberhausen. And now we have our line doubled all the way to Wald Station and back. We're going to put 2 trains on that. Actually, we'll go 1 train, run full, and then we'll just go in and add another train. And we may have to add a 3rd one eventually. So that'll help it get its wood that it needs to start making tools. The other thing we're going to have to do is do a little connector up here so then we can get all the way up to Oberhausen. We're going to take this canned factories so we can produce canned goods. The other thing we did is we come in here and we're connecting this here because we'll get a 336,000 bonus, and we changed the train that was going to Wuppertal to Solingen from Oberhausen. So we now have 3 trains bringing in steel. So now we got to run our tool trains out. We're going to run a full 8 up to Essen freight, and the other thing we're going to do is go back to Solingen freight again, run this full again off the 2nd line, and we're going to go up to Gelsenkirchen freight because they're going to need tools also. So now we're going to bring in our load of sawdust. We're going to bring this in full. We're not going to bring the tools, and we're going to bring it to Wuppertal freight, and so that will help run the paper. We have a line from Bochum Express down the Witten Express, so we're trying to push down the Sauerland, and so we're going to put 1 train on it for now, leave it on automatic with our wagons on it, and then as soon as we get enough money, we'll add a 2nd train. Trying to increase our income. It's kind of shaky. Like, we're making a lot off mail bags, as you can see, but really not so much on freight and not even that great on passengers. And now we have Dortmund Express, the Witten Express, and we're going to put 2 trains on that, leave it on automatic for now, and maybe we'll add more trains later. So that'll get us down the Witten from both directions. So now the next thing we're going to want to do is buy Sauerland for 826,000. First though, we have to do something. I had forgotten about this here. Deliver 40 loads of steel to Essen. So I put another station in Essen just for this purpose. I'm going to go in from Oberhausen freight. We'll come in off the 8 line. We'll go full, running into Essen. We'll put our west on it, and we'll put 2, and we'll lay that down. So that way it should start bringing the steel over. Now, steel itself is not producing amazingly fast, so we may have to bump that up another level, but we're going to need like a cool million to do it. Before I do that, I definitely want to buy this Sauerland, as I mentioned, before it starts getting more expensive on me. And now we can buy the Sauerland Border. We need to have canned foods, so that's really why we had to buy this. So again, the 42,000 already has its 2 industry slots, so we could go down and maybe build an immigration center. And then Schwerte, probably said that wrong, it also needs an immigration center, so we'll build one there. It's at 37. It could easily grow to 40. It needs potatoes, it needs wood, beer, it could get from Dortmund, meat, it could get technically from Bochum, and then this here it still needs. So now we have our double line from Dortmund Express to Schwerte Express. We're going to have 1 train. We're going to leave it on automatic because we need the beer to come down to Schwerte. We'll obviously throw a 2nd train on as soon as we have money, I guess. How is Dortmund doing for grain? Okay, it's got a decent amount of grain, and beer is 20 to 24, so that's not so bad. Go back in here. We'll add another train. Actually, we might even add a 3rd one. It's not going to hurt anything. See, we have research available. We're going to take speakers, which will increase the ticket price for passengers by 5%, and we could use that extra income. So now we're going to start bringing in stuff to Schwerte Freight to help build it up. We're going to bring in our load of potatoes right now with 1 train. And then we're going to bring in our copper into Schwerte. Still needs the wood, which we have to bring from pretty far. It needs the meat from Bochum, so that we could do. It's already getting some copper, but we're going to bring in more. It needs milk. Milk could be easy enough. And then it also needs coke and tar, which are being made in Hagen. Because I want to speed things up, I'm going to take this bond for 3.2 million. We could clean up some of these other bonds later, maybe. Like, say this one we could clean up right away. So we'll put that down down. We'll go with our class 121s. We'll go 3. Leave it at automatic just to see what it might throw back and forth. And then we're going to put a train in here from Bochum, bringing in our meat, the Hagen freight. It cost quite a bit. It wasn't a cheap endeavor. We're going to go back in, put another train, and then we're going to go back in and do a third train. That way should be getting lots of meat. And then we got Hagen Express, the Short Day Express. We're going to put 2 trains with the wagons, leave it on Express because we already have a freight line running. That should create some more income. So if we go down to Short Day Freight again, let's see, we got our potatoes, so that'll get 100 soon. Wood we need to bring in. We need to figure out a way to get meat in. And we're going to go ahead and put our milk train down in Schwerte Freight. We threw a refrigeration car on it. We're going to put 2. Now we have our line coming from Bochum, kind of going around about the Rosie here a bit. It's going to come into Schwerte Freight. We're going to put 3 of them on, and we will add a refrigeration car to increase our income on that. In fact, I think we'll go back to Hagen here and do the same thing. Now we need to bring coal in the Hagen Freight so its coking plant can work. So we'll do that. It's on a single train line, but that's okay because it's coming in every 5 days. Yeah, we're going to bring in our wood. We came all the way through the mountains to get the Hagen Freight. And now we have our wood coming in the Schwerte Freight. We're going to put 2 trains on that because it's 58-day turnaround. That's a bit long. No, I noticed they were getting potatoes and Hagen Freight, so we're going to bring in a train there. It's kind of funny how some things they get and other things they don't get, you know, like they're getting milk, which is way down here automatically, but yet they're not getting potatoes. It's right there. Go figure. Anyways, there's a train on that. So we want to keep Essen growing. So we're going to bring in cement. We're running in our line. We're going to tap into Essen Freight here with 1 train. It's going to be 30 days, so that'll be good. And here we are coming in with our last 8 loads of steel into Essen, so that should finish one of our tasks.
The risk of collapse was minimized by securing the mines with steel structures. This ensured greater safety and improved morale.
All right, so there we are, 40 loads of steel. So if we just look, we haven't did any tools yet, so that's clearly a problem. And we also haven't brought any canned foods in. We should maybe take a look at Sauerland, see if we've grown Schwerte. No, it's not growing at all. What is it missing? I thought for sure I had everything I needed. Okay, so the wood's still not in. Got 8 coming. I guess enough time hasn't passed. Milk is coming in. It's not getting the coke and the tar. What's going on in Hagen? What's the problem here? Hagen, does it have enough for the coking plant? It should have lots of coal. Got some, but not enough. Is the coal out or something? Oh, yeah, that's a bummer. Well, let's add another train, and maybe that'll make it make more. Now we're back at Suerte. We're going to bring in a full load of cloth, and then if it wants to bring paper, it can do that too. But I'm going to bring that in Suerte. It'll take 6 days, so should probably have 2 trains. We have some research. We're going to take explosives, so we can open an explosive factory. I'll just wait until I get some money here, and I'm going to upgrade my tool factory. I'm really not making a whole lot of traction here with the tools for some reason. My income's up though. That's a good thing. It's up to 828 at the moment. Kind of fluctuates up and down a little bit. And we're just trying to bump up our income consistently over $1 million. So we have a line from Duisburg Express to Oberhausen with 2 trains. We will put more later. And then we're going to have our line from Duisburg to Mulheim Express with our wagons. We're going to put 2 trains to start on that. And finally, Schwerte has grown. So we're going to go in and put our canned vegetable factory down. So now for that to work good, we're going to need potatoes, beans. Let's just let this run for a second. Potatoes 1.1, beans. Okay, so we're good that way. And then we're going to need steel, and steel's what we don't have right there. So we're going to have to go over and run a line from Oberhausen over to Schwerte. And we have some more research. We're going to take this concrete factory because that's one of the tasks we have to do. So we need to get at this Heiligenhaus area, and I can't even say that land, but we're going to buy it, and we're going to connect this because one of the things we had to do was use that Heiligenhaus. We need to put a warehouse in there, and we need to deliver concrete through that warehouse. Now, is it even near enough to grow something? Kind of doesn't really look like it. We'll put an immigration center there. We could maybe put concrete up in Essen. Essen's almost at 90,000. That's a possibility. Concrete needs 684,000, which we're probably going to have soon. So Essen has grown, as I said. I think we'll go ahead and put the concrete factory in there, although we're quite a busy little city here, but let's stick it in here. Put a rate there. For that, we're going to need slag, which can come from Oberhausen, so that's not so bad. We need gravel, and we got cement is already coming in, so I probably want to bump up the cement. We'll go ahead and put another train there. If we click on gravel, where is it coming from? It is coming from here. Okay, so that's not so bad really. So now we have our line for our gravel laid out. We're gonna bring it into Essen and we'll bring it in full. We use the west, right? And we have our last load of tools coming in the Gelsenkirchen, and this should give us our last task.
Thanks to higher quality tools, the work was easier and there were fewer injuries.
Okay, so we have that task there. So it's just our canned goods. We're still struggling a little bit with the canned goods. And then as far as the other ones, our explosive factory is going to be in Witten, but we need to grow Witten. So it's going to be just a little bit till we get that going, unless someone else can do it first. But it would make sense because explosives use a chemical. So if I could put it right there, plus coal, and coal's like literally right there. So that would be perfect. And then the last thing we need to do is grow Essen. We're up at 92,770 of 115. So we're making progress. And then we just started working at this Heiligenhaus. We need to put a warehouse there. So really we haven't done much there except bring the gravel out. So that's what we'll do in our next video. If you like this one, come back and watch another great video of Alchemy Gaming.